How's everybody doing? Welcome back to another episode of The Banker Next Door. I'm your host, Dr. Joe Berquist. Today, I'm bringing everybody another installment in the Crypto Series. This is Crypto Series Part 15. If you haven't checked out any of the other Crypto Series episodes, I highly recommend everybody go check them out. But today, I'm going to be giving everybody an update on crypto fraud, particularly some of maybe what are called the romance scams, pig butchering related to crypto fraud. So we're going to take a look at two key things today. The SEC came out with what they called their annual report on activities. And at the very end of that report, they report on the explosion, if you will, in crypto fraud, particularly in 2024. And then the second thing we're going to look at is a report from a great company called Chainalysis. We go to their website and they have a whole detailed listing on all the different crypto frauds and different things that are out there right now. But before we go to bring that in, I just wanted to congratulate once again my Eagles on winning another Super Bowl championship. I will be celebrating this week. I've got my Eagles Super Bowl championship, and I will be wearing this all week to kind of celebrate. I could have done this last week, but I don't know. I wanted to wait to get the T-shirt and everything. But yeah, so for all of those sports fans out there, so maybe like you Buffalo fans, Minnesota fans that come to mind, just hang in there. There is light at the end of the tunnel. You will have your day to bask in the sun. Us Eagles fans, if you know, have been tortured for a long, long time. So this has been nice this last week. So anyway, all right. So without further ado, I should say, I want to bring in. Let's take a look here at this SEC report. So this is called the Fiscal Year 2024 Report on Activities. And now we're going to skip all the way down here. And there's some good things in this report, just not things that I really want to focus on today. So, I want to skip down here to page 40, all the way here at the bottom. And this is basically about a 46-page report. So we're down here at the bottom. And this says the ongoing fight against fraud. So federal regulators, including the SEC, have witnessed a major proliferation in reporting investment fraud schemes over the past several years. Most of the fraud-related complaints the Ombudsman Office receives involve fraudulent crypto investments initiated through social media contacts that later develop into relationship confidence scams. The types and sophistication of scams and scammers have evolved over time, revealing a nascent global fraud industry with vast potential to invade and disrupt international securities markets. Hang on a second. I want to blow this up a little bit. Yeah, okay. Now hopefully people can see that a little better. Okay, so same game, new playbook, no rules. It is well known among law enforcement and regulators that criminals are quick to adopt new strategies and technologies. The launch of crypto and crypto investments has unfortunately resulted in the somewhat predictable emergence of crypto investment scams. The SEC's Office of Investor Education and Advocacy has emphasized the inherent risks in crypto-related investments, which can be anonymous and difficult to trace, often across international borders, making it unlikely that the SEC or other regulators can recover lost investments. This makes crypto an ideal vehicle for criminal activity. Perhaps the most unsettling aspects of these crimes are the professionalized manipulation of victims and the industrial scope of the criminal operations. Fraud has become an industry, in part due to organized crime syndicates' investment in fraud factories, high-security compounds located in countries where the rule of law is weak, and the ill-gotten gains give rise to a lucrative shadow economy that thrives outside the scrutiny of regulation. Research has shown that many individuals acting as scammers are doing so unwillingly and are themselves victims of the fraud industry. Criminal syndicates target desperate, unsuspecting job seekers and fake job ads, inducing them to accept employment abroad. Upon arrival in the foreign country, their passports are confiscated, they are forced to participate in the fraud schemes, and they are not permitted to leave. They must follow scripts and processes that have been refined over time to psychologically manipulate targets in relinquishing their money. If the scammers fail to defraud their targets, they are subjected to coercive and abusive punishments. The horrors experienced by human trafficking victims are well documented, beyond comprehension and beyond the scope of this report. However, international human rights groups are actively pursuing means to stop the flow of this exploited labor, which could ultimately curb the expansion of the fraud industry. So then it goes on to say like the script and then closing the deal. So the script. So investors that contact our office for assistance regularly report that the fraud began with a single contact on social media or text, a question, a photograph, an invitation to connect. If the investor replies, fraudsters use various forms of psychological manipulation and intense, frequent communication to cultivate an intimate relationship with their intended victim. In the early stage, fraudsters might love bomb their targets, showering them with praise and affection to quickly establish trust and attachment. Scammers generally portray themselves as financially successful, success that they attribute to profitable cryptocurrency trades. The scammer may describe the cryptocurrency investments as one facet of their life and focus on other details of his life to appear trustworthy, such as concerns about family relationships or hobbies. By casually referencing the crypto investment without soliciting the victim's participation, the victim generally accepts the scammer's claims about the investment's profitability without feeling the need to confirm the truthfulness of the claim. The investor also shares information about their life with the scammer, their current financial situation and goals, information about family and friends, and the values that motivate them. As the scammer draws the victim into their confidence, they begin to use the investor's personal information against them, often convincing them to reject loved ones who might question the legitimacy of their relationship or the eventual crypto investment. And then it says closing the deal. So once the scammer believes they have successfully earned the victim's trust, they will use other manipulative tactics such as guilt, fear of missing out, or threatening to exit the relationship to coerce them to invest in the same profitable crypto investment through the same investment group, typically beginning with a low dollar amount paid into a crypto wallet. The scammer will show the investor lucrative but fake returns and convince them to invest more money in the scheme. Some investors report they would have never considered cryptocurrency investments, but for their trust in the relationship and the evidence of large returns. Eventually the investor enters the final phase of the scheme when they unsuccessfully attempt to withdraw their earnings. The investment group requires that they pay taxes or commissions before their funds can be released. The scammer portrays the demands as routine and might use the investor's personal information to suggest other resources with which to pay the fees, loans from family members, liquidating retirement accounts. Our team has spoken to investors at this stage who are nervous about the investments, and we have confirmed that the investments were fraudulent. Nevertheless, some investors were so swayed by the scammers that they still paid the taxes or commissions. The crypto investment firm delays release of the funds by continuing to demand additional payments. Eventually, the investor realizes they cannot recover any returns or even their initial investment amount. Communications with the scammer terminate along with the valued relationship. And then it goes on to, recovery fraud. Basically says that, it can be very difficult for them to recover, basically recover any monies because a lot of this stuff is overseas. And then it goes into the outlook, the growing profitability of the fraud trade and the availability of exploited labor will predictably lead to an increasing number of victims absent aggressive consolidated intervention from regulators and law enforcement. As discussed throughout this report, such intervention is necessary on a global scale to stop the financial and emotional losses associated with fraud and to stop the human suffering associated with the fraud enterprise. So very interesting stuff there. If anybody has seen the episode that I just released a couple weeks ago called Chaos in Kansas, a conversation with Alan Berkeley, we covered the failure of Heartland Tri-State Bank out in Kansas, where the CEO of that bank fell victim to a pig butchering crypto fraud scheme, this exact scheme that we're talking about here. So if you want to see it play out in real time, where it affected an absolute financial professional, the CEO of a small bank who is, a veteran in the industry, fell victim to this stuff. So it's not just that, somebody who's financially illiterate or is uneducated or not financially savvy. There are professionals, people who know better, falling victim to this stuff. So, okay. Now let's jump over here to Chainalysis. So this is a full report from Chainalysis, and this is called Crypto Scam Revenue 2024. Pig butchering grows nearly 40% year over year as fraud industry leverages AI and increases in sophistication. Now, there is a ton of stuff in this report that we could go through. And we don't have time to cover all this stuff here today, but I just wanted to. So let's read just a couple things. I just want to read you guys a couple things here. So revenue from romance scams, also known as pig butchering, grew 40% last year and accounted for more than a third of all crypto-related scams, according to a report by Chainalysis. Confirmed losses to crypto scams were 9.9 billion for the year. But that figure is likely to go up as more come to light, according to the report. High yield investment scams accounted for more than half of the crypto scams for the year. Crypto ATMs, scams involving crypto ATMs or kiosks were used to buy and sell cryptocurrency, continue to grow, totaling 65 million for just the first half of 2024. And then it goes on to say a company called IC3 reported 189 million in losses to activity tied to crypto ATMs in 2023, while FinCEN said 43% of crypto-related suspicious activity reports since 2020 have referenced crypto ATMs. So just an interesting thing to point out there. But there are some great charts and graphs in here. So you can see from here, and I'm going to try to blow this up for a second here. Let's get there. There we go. Yearly crypto scam revenue from 2021 to 2024. You can see 2024 was estimated at 12.4 billion. Came in, I think, at 9.9 billion in there. But it just goes through a lot of stuff in here. And this basically goes into high yield investment and pig butchering scams, see highest crypto revenues. And you can see some of the different scams here. One's called the rug pull, other scams, live stream, imposter, high yield investment trading. This is, 50.2% here, big time. Address poisoning, crypto drainer, employment scams. I mean, you could spend, we could spend an hour going through all this stuff, but, and then I wanted to get down here. It's got some interesting chats, growth across the fraud and scam ecosystem. You guys could check that out. Where scammers send illicit crypto. Basically, a lot of the money. So in the last few years, destinations for scammed funds have remained relatively the same, with most funds going to centralized exchanges. But as scams on more blockchains, including Ethereum, Tron, and Solana, have grown, so too has the use of DeFi protocols. So again, we keep seeing this theme of the crypto exchanges, but obviously we saw the big blow up of FTX, but you still got Binance, Kraken, Coinbase, a lot of these other ones out there. Now, I think Coinbase, to be fair, I don't think they've really had anywhere near as many problems as some of the other ones have. But I wouldn't trust any of these crypto exchanges. And then it talks about this. I think if I'm pronouncing this correctly, the Hanoi, the Hoyan. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right or not. But the guarantee is professionalizing the scam ecosystem. Large and growing fraud ecosystem, generative AI software, creating fake personas for scammers. As we scroll down here, the unconnected nature of Hanoi vendors, crypto, and then it gets to the crypto ATMs here at the bottom. So crypto ATMs, a risk vector for fraud payments. Crypto ATM scam case study at the bottom here. I might have to do another episode on that. Loss from crypto ATM scams. And then the push toward crypto ATM legislation. And I think that's where it stops. I could be wrong there. Yeah, I think. And then, global enablement, collaboration, and regulation are keys to fraud prevention. Kind of says the same thing that the SEC report said at the end, that basically that we need more, almost like on a global scale, to prevent this fraud. But again, I just thought some interesting things here. So obviously, pig butchering. Obviously a huge thing, these kind of romance scams, a lot of this stuff going on social media, and the scammers using very sophisticated tactics at the end of the day to perpetrate these frauds on people. So the best thing that you could do out there is to educate yourself. I've often said, if you're going to, again, I'm not like totally negative on cryptocurrency. I just think that it's not the technology. I've often said it's not the technology, it's the players in the field. The players in the field are a problem. And we do need more regulation around the crypto exchanges and how this goes on in order for, I think, crypto to become something more in the future. So, but if you're investing in this stuff, I just tell you, be careful, be super, super careful, because there's a lot of bad actors out there in this space. And the number of stories out there on people that have been bribed and lost money is just incredible. So, so with that, I'll wrap up with, if you like this episode, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, as that always helps the channel. Remember, we are on YouTube, Rumble, and all major podcast platforms. Please be sure to leave your comments down below, as I always love getting back to everybody. And remember to check out some of the other episodes on the channel. I hope everyone has a great day out there, and I will see everyone again real soon. Thanks a lot.